So welcome back. We're going to talk about the Bard Quartet again today. Last time we talked about continuous quantization, and that's where we have kind of random CV voltage going into the Bard Quartet, and then out will come magic notes in your scale. Any quantizer will do that. That was last time. If you're interested in seeing that, link up there. And today we're going to talk about arpeggios. The Bard Quartet has a arpeggio mode, and it's really flexible. It's got a couple different modes that you can cycle through the notes, and I figured it was a really fun way to chase melody. So let's get into that. First, we're going to use the pizza. I have a bunch of this stuff already patched up, so it would be a little bit quicker. So we have pizza being the main voice, we have envelope from Baker, we have carbon being the filter, and we have veils being the VCA. How that's wired up is that we have the main and octave oscillators out of pizza going into 3x MIA, and those are being mixed going into carbon, and then carbon is going out to veils. Carbon and veils are receiving the same envelope from Baker, and right now that's just being clocked. I'm clocking everything from the O coast. That is sending clock through everything else via this mult on this case into here, out to the varigate, out to ghost, out to steppy, and steppy is doing reset out of channel D. That's going here, so that's resetting the varigate and steppy, and it's just much less to think about when you're just wanting to think about notes. I believe, oh right, I need to clock this. So now we see this light is on, and that is sending clock through the system. Blinky light up there, steppy's going, and if I just move this up, this is volume basically of that voice. Let's see, let's close that down a little bit. So that's what we have coming out of that whole signal flow there. We don't have any note information going into pizza right now. So let's do that. The Bard Quartet and the ARP mode works in this way that you send in a trigger. So we'll send in a trigger on channel 2 here, and we'll just grab the signal coming out of the clock. This is just a stacked multiple going to the sync. We have clock coming out now to Bard Quartet, and we could see these notes here just bouncing around, and that's all from a trigger. So this is a trigger, not CV that we were doing before. We could tell this is in ARP mode because we're looking at channel 2 right over here, and it's blinking. Blinking means ARP or arpeggio. I'll just say ARP because it's just shorter. Okay, so that's bouncing around. Let's send that same voltage out to pizza so we can hear it. Into the volt per octave. And it's sort of like when you make a small change like that, it's like, oh, was that magic? Sometimes I feel that way with modular stuff because the movements can be so subtle and you can get something that's so satisfying. Let me explain what's going on the Bard Quartet to make this. So it's in ARP mode, as we know. There's a couple different menus on the Bard Quartet. If we go into the ARP menu here, we'll see a couple of things. Over here, like these 4 buttons will basically determine what is the range that arpeggio is going to occupy. Is it going to be just 1 octave? Is it going to be 2, like we had it? 3? 4? This might get high. Right? So let's go back to 1. The other thing over here, these 5 buttons determine the different mode. So you can have ascending, descending, and pendulum. What else is here? It's kind of like spiral, where I think it goes out, the notes on the outside, then inward, and then random. So let's just cycle through them. So this is ascending, descending, and if we go back over here, we can see how it's reflected in the actual notes. Pendulum, this is the spiral. This is what we had it on. I think it's so cool because it's like really dynamic. It's not notes just in a row, and it's almost like how you might write a little bit of a melody anyway, especially for an arpeggio. So, and then there's random. I really like using random with a higher octave range. Go back. The other thing you can do is you can select in the edit menu what the bass octave is. So if you want it to go lower, you can go -1, and you can go up. So you're basically transposing a whole octave. Cool. The next thing we have to consider is, yes, this is like consistently always happening, and aside from random, it's predetermined. Every time it's exactly the same, and over time, this will get boring, right? We can add a little bit more variance with using something called track and hold. And what that will do, I used it in my last video, I believe, and all it will do is it says, hey, only change the notes while the CV value is high. And that will go into the gate in right over here. And then we'll send it out of the varigate, similar to last time. Let's go channel 2. Okay. So on channel 2, we're on channel 2 here. And nothing's happening because it's not turned on. So if we go into the edit menu and we go gate in, we press that on, it will only change when this is high. But you can see how we're kind of missing that. It's because the pulse width of the varigate, if you see this little blinky light, it's very short, so it might or might not catch that exact moment when trigger is being received in here. If I go to the track menu of the varigate and I extend the pulse width to a bigger, longer pulse, we won't miss it, it'll catch every time. And that's interesting. We only have it changing this much, which is very different from what we had before, which was this. Right? So if we go back, and if we add some variance to the pattern here on the varigate, again, you can just say, oh, I like that in terms of rhythmically, but say I want to change the way that the notes are now going. I don't want the notes to just be going from outward in. Maybe I just want it ascending, so I want to build some tension or something like that. Let's go ascending here. And maybe this is a good time to extend it to another octave range. Add some more reverb. Cool. Very interesting, right? All that's happening is we're getting a trigger in, and then voltage is coming out into pizza, and it's great. Again, the Bard Quartet is doing a lot of the heavy lifting of melody stuff, which is something that I've been a little bit on a journey of in modular the last little bit. It's like I want to figure out and like pick apart how to make different types of melodies, or have a lot of playability in the notes that I'm playing, and not just set something up or write something and press play. I very much want it to be jammable. So here, we're still getting envelope every time we're getting a clock pulse from the O coast. Say we just wanted to get an envelope only when we had the note change on the Bard Quartet, right? Let's just see if we can do that. So we'll just remove our envelope from over here, and then we're going to put it in. Oh, I might need a longer cable. Okay. Get a longer cable. And we're going to put it in over here for the Trig out. And if we turn on the Trig out on channel 2, so we're only getting envelope out when this note is changing, which is again just another flexible way of doing this stuff. Something that we could do is, we could use that same idea. We can get a clock here. So we can use the Switchblade, and this is something that you could do if you're performing and you wanted a little bit of flexibility. So that means that we have the clocked signal coming into the Switchblade. We also have the trigger out from the Bard Quartet signal, and we can switch between the two at will. Just press this button. Cool. How about we switch the way that we had it before? What about if we wanted consistent changes to the pitches, but then varied envelopes? Let's do that now. We have channel C of Steppy sending this gate pattern over to Baker. Baker sending envelopes to Carbon and Veils. But we still have clock going into Bard Quartet. So that means that the signal is all bouncing around and it's still changing every clock pulse, but we have the envelope being more inconsistent. So that means that we kind of have the note changes kind of happening as the volume is getting like quieter. Does that make sense? Say if we changed the number of steps there is here. I just think that's so neat, because we have like, yeah, it's a lot more variance that you have in your patch here. I think that's generally it. Like, you can mix up a bunch of stuff with the Switchblade, but I think what we should really do is bring in another voice. Let's bring in MCO, and how are we gonna do this? Let's trigger it from channel 2. So let's have fewer times. I think it something like that. Okay. So we're gonna send channel 2 of varigate out to channel 3 on Bard Quartet. Cool. Now we're gonna send. Maybe I'll use this. And then we want to send channel 3 out from the Bard Quartet into MCO. Okay, and then we'll send MCO into Veils. And then turn it up. Oh, right. So I can't hear anything because this is coming out of channel 1 of Veils, and this is a cascading mixer kind of style. So if I move this from channel 1 to channel 2 and then turn this up. Cool. Now I can hear MCO. Let's see. I don't want to use that one or the pulse. Let's use the pulse. In the last video, I mentioned this harmony knob, but I didn't really get into it. I'm gonna do that now though. So we have 2 channels coming out of the Bard Quartet, creating music, I don't know, notes that make sense together, and some buzzy synth sounds. I mean, I'm into it. By twisting that harmony knob, you're going through different presets of all the settings we've been talking about so far. You can shift from one kind of vibe to another one, or have different parts of a song almost put together. I'll show you what I mean. So if I turn this just to 2, it's going to change. Right, if we look on channel 3 here, now we just have it going in pendulum mode between these 3 notes. Probably turn this down a little touch. Channel 2 is just kind of going between 2 octaves and in this same spiral mode. But it's sort of like waiting for something to happen, right? And then back to the different part. Perfect time to bring in drums, right? I can't resist. Oh, actually, before we bring in drums,
Let's cycle through this harmony actually. No, perfect time for drums. Yeah. Okay, let's do drums. Do drums. Okay. Go. And you got the kick on channel A, snare on channel B. And we're just gonna send the mix out into what cable to use? Longer one. From the mix out into channel C. Ooh, here. Something that I've been doing lately is rigging up just a little bit of distortion or clipping off of the veils. We have this signal, it's going to come in for the drums. If I turn this response knob up, maybe offset too. Clipping a little bit. And then we add in snare. I don't know what the snare's doing, let's check. I mean, that's cool, but let's do something different. Let's go back to the kick.
Those snares are definitely in the wrong spot, eh? I mean, in terms of where they're falling on the stepping. Something to think about here is that I'm not using a reset on Bard Quartet, so that means that while I'm using a reset on Steppy and Varigate, they're not quite lined up in terms of where the one might feel like, if that makes any sense. Yeah, so something to think about if you're trying to mix between arpeggiated sequences and, say, continuous quantization sequences.
Let's turn the offset down a little bit. Let's go through more of the harmony notes. Go back to the clocked kind of sounds from that oscillator. Totally forgot. Watch. what this module does is how you see tons of videos out there that are talking about filters, and from the simple reason that you can do this. Such a cool way to like change the sound, change the vibe of everything that's going on. But with the Bard Quartet, you can do it like this. Voice it. Turn the drums off there. We'll send the drums out to here. Get the drums going again. Let's bring in the Octaves. Love the Octaves. We're going to send full per octave out of the Bard Quartet into pizza, or not, into Octaves, and we're going to eventually get Octaves out into here, channel 3 of Veils, and that will mix down with not the drums. That will also go to Ghost. Sending everything to Ghost. What else will we need to make this happen? Well, right, we need a clock. We need a way to send something out, and we'll probably need an envelope. Okay, let's do channel 4 over here. We're going to send it into the gate of Oak Coast. And then we're gonna mult that signal and then send it into Bard Quartet. That's gonna be changing the notes. If we go over here, oh, channel 4, sorry. It's not changing at all. So let's figure out what that is. I think, okay. Right now the length is set just to one note, and that means this is a probability knob. So if I send that all the way up, it's gonna be changing every single note. Great. And now we can bring in the O coast. We're coming, yeah, everything's good. We got both per octave coming in, we have a gate happening, and signal is coming out. So is that right? Variants in terms of the envelope here of the Octaves. See what I mean? I just love that.
And thank you for watching. If this was at all helpful or you liked it, feel free to like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll be making more videos about quantizers specifically. So come back and check those out. Cheers.